5, 4, 3, 2, 1, action!
The reason why I'm delivering this message is because of the coronavirus. Right now, I don't know if you recognize this t-shirt, but this t-shirt's the flag of Vietnam. For those of you that do or don't know, I'm in Vietnam right now. Alright, red flag, yellow star, you get the point and such. I appreciate there's a lot of there's a lot of negative, there's a lot of negative stuff on the internet, on the news and stuff, because of some trade war with America. But at the same time, guys, I'm here to talk to you about the coronavirus, because it turns out that there's like racism against Chinese now, where folk are just like, oh, you know, the Chinese, you know, they're coronavirus carriers. I'm just here to say, folks, like, I don't want to shove it down your throat or nothing. Either you're on board with this or you're not, so I'm not going to change your mind. Like, whatever you think about the Chinese and coronavirus, I mean, that's just in you. So yeah, I hope this microphone is much better sound quality for you. To offer some extra context here, I'm in Vietnam. Coronavirus has arrived here. Like, coronavirus broke out in late or mid-December, but then it became like a big deal, like, I don't know, 10th of, or maybe 15th of January or something. I do need to double check the dates, like. However, here in Vietnam, like, I mean, we have been keeping as like well educated as we can on what this is, because there's a lot of, I mean, like, there is a fear of the coronavirus. Like, it's highly infectious, and you've got a 2% chance of dying at a minimum. My mum's like, you know, just fly home and stuff. I will give you the money. Come on home, son. Don't worry about the coronavirus. However, you know, it's like, I'm not saying I don't have it, but if I do have it or something, it's like, I don't want to infect my mother. Do you understand? It's like, the coronavirus does seem to be having a high probability of killing. There's a high fatality rate with older people. My mother's like, my mum's, I think she's 60, but it's like, you know, she'll tell you that she's like 24 or something. So I don't know what that is like. Either way, I might be running a risk of infecting my mother, you know. So I do think about the coronavirus. Like, it is an important situation, and it's nothing to laugh at, regardless of what you think. Like, there's a fatality rate to this, and it's highly infectious. So with a 2% mortality rate, actually, it's going to be a matter of, you would think to yourself, well, if you only have a 2% chance of dying, then what is the big deal? However, if it's highly infectious, then, you know, you could actually infect like 2 million people. So what's 2% of 2 million people? I mean, in context of this coronavirus originating in China, it seems to be that a lot of people are being, like, I don't know, like extra angry or something against Chinese. And as a result of there being a racial element in that they are like actually Chinese, and people are all like, you know, in the face, it's just a very horrible situation for everybody. Number one, nobody wants coronavirus. Number two, it's a matter of, in all fairness, to begin with, I mean, this was carried to other countries by Chinese people. Although, for those that do remember, there was an American man at the very start, like, I mean, like, and that's what I want to point out to you, is like, it's a virus, it's a disease, different people are going to get it. Like, I mean, I may or may not have it. I mean, Jesus, this is why I'm not going back home. Like, I don't want to go back home in case I infect her, in case, you know, I might have the disease or something, I don't know. Now, I do appreciate that people would have a fear of getting the coronavirus. Nobody wants it. Okay? And I will share with you that when the coronavirus first arrived in Vietnam, it was a father who was meeting his son, and what happened was I was in a travel agent trying to get a bus ticket to go to like Da Nang or something. Hey buddy! And so yeah, like I was trying to get to Da Nang. Anyway, 3 people walk in. There's like an old guy wearing a mask and 2 younger people with them. They look married, like a man and a woman and such. And the woman started speaking Chinese. I was like talking about this bus ticket, and the woman, the wife, had said to the guy something along the lines of like Sanga Ren, which means like 3 people. And that's when I realized they were Chinese. I then look back to the old guy with his mask, his red eyes. He did look sick, and I decided to not be in the room anymore. Okay, I stood up, turned around, and I walked straight out of the room. Okay, folks, you might think I'm a terrible person, but this coronavirus thing, when it first came out, like nobody knew what was going on, nobody knew what was happening. And so when I saw an old sick Chinese guy, I walked out of the room, okay? Alright, so this story of the Dutch or the German guy, I'm not sure. What had happened was, sorry, excuse me. What had happened was I was staying in a hostel, so I'm in close proximity with other people, and what had happened was somebody had arrived at the reception desk, and all I could hear was, this is going to sound a bit strange, like, but all I could hear, like, the person who works the desk, I am in Vietnam, and the fella who works the desk at the hotel in the hostel, he just doesn't speak good English, and yet, you know, the place doesn't fall apart, so that's cool. So he doesn't speak that good English at all, actually, so he tends to use a translator app on his mobile phone. So at least if his English isn't that good, well, at least he can communicate. So what had happened was I had heard his phone in like this female, it was a female robotic voice. Sorry about all the traffic, guys, like I'm just like filming this as I go along. But all I could hear was this. I can't see reception, but I can hear reception from where I'm sitting. And I hear a female robotic voice go, "How long have you been?" "Have you been to China recently?" And the response from the fella that I also can't see was, nah. And I remember thinking, like, Jesus, that's an odd way to say it, if you see what I'm saying. And I thought, like, I was just sitting waiting, and there was like a 30-second pause. And then the guy says, "Well, I mean, I was in Taiwan, but that was last week." And I just thought to myself, actually, that is not what I wanted to hear. I don't like what you've said. I didn't say this, but I was thinking, I don't like what this guy said, and I really don't like how he said it. And this guy is either, like, whenever I actually went out to see what he looked like, because I don't know if he's staying, he had just arrived. Fella, he was either from the Holland land or Germany. So, you know, this idea of like only not liking Chinese and such, you know, anyone can have this virus, and you know, I am actually kind of convinced this guy thought he had it, because I heard him sneezing as well. He was coughing and sneezing, before he could give his response and stuff, it was like the worst kind of combination you would want or whatever. Like, I don't need to hear some guy coughing and sneezing and then lying about being in China during a time when there is a coronavirus and folk are just a bit like, you know, wanting to be careful. So yeah. So Chinese people are really dead on. No need to be bashing the Chinese. Anyone can get an infection. It really doesn't matter who you are or where you're from. If you're human, you know, you're eligible for this. Like, there's no qualification really. Any one of us can get this coronavirus. So when I hear that there's people taking out their anger on Chinese people, I am not. Yeah. Chinese people are really dead on. They make me laugh. I love their culture. And they are so, Chinese people, China's very different than the rest of the world. And they understand that the rest of the world is very different than them. And you find that when you visit China, they are quite welcoming. So when I hear that there has been like an increase or something of people being anti-Chinese, you know, because of this coronavirus, it doesn't sit well with me at all, to be fair, because it really kind of doesn't matter, if you see what I'm saying. Human is human. Any one of us can get the virus. I don't know what else to say to you. I will not shy away from the fact that when this story first broke of the coronavirus, it's not even a story, do you know what I mean? It's like, I do forget if it's a pandemic or an endemic. So, bottom line is that I was quite aware, of course, that if this virus originates in China, then there's going to be quite a high probability of the fact that the people who carry this virus, to begin with, are going to be Chinese. And I'm not going to shy away from that. I want to keep myself safe, so, you know, I'm wearing the mask and such, and yet when I saw somebody that I perceived to be a sick Chinese person, I decided to not be in the room. That's not because I hate Chinese people, it's because I want to stay safe. That's all it is. Okay, I don't hate the guy. I mean, he's there with either his son or his daughter. Obviously with the other ones, it's a marriage and that, you know what I mean? You know, I don't hate the family or nothing, guys. I just wanted to stay safe. And I won't justify it any further. Like, I do have to take care of myself, like, you know. So here, I would like to make a distinction between keeping yourself safe and not wanting to get coronavirus off of anyone, Chinese, you know, German, whatever. There is a difference between that and just outright taking your hatred out on Chinese people. There is a difference, and I would like you to be aware of that. I'm sure you know there's a difference, and I would like to think that you are the type of person to not. I would like to think that you are the type of person who would not take out your prejudice on Chinese people just because of the coronavirus. To do so is stupid and provides no benefit whatsoever. Okay? So yeah, guys, thank you so much for your time. This weekend, this Friday, don't be afraid to say ni hao. Alright? Show a bit of love and a bit of understanding. And thank you so much for your time, folks. I'll see you soon. Thank you so much.